Welcome to the Something Random podcast, where sometimes we talk about movies, sometimes we talk about television, but we always talk about something random. I'm your host, Charles Joseph Kelly.
And I'm your co-host, Mikeal C. Macbeth.
Hello, my name is Joel Adam Chavez. How are you? Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Scotty Schaefer.
Welcome.
Nice to be back.
Yeah, welcome back, Scotty. How are you doing, dude?
I have a cough.
You got a cough? It's going to be great audio, just you just coughing into the mic. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it in this audio podcast. So, what have you guys been watching this week? Anything intriguing?
Oh, man. Well, I watched my punishment movie, What the Health.
And what'd you think?
I need to do better at 6 degrees. Yeah,
That's a good movie, isn't it?
oh man, so good. Setting aside the fact that it's kind of self-indulgent,
I think we should talk about the merits of the movie itself, not the science behind it. I think the science is obviously
There is no science
There is no
behind it.
science behind it. But I mean, like, I wanna stray away from that side of things because I wanna just as a movie, I think it was
oh yeah,
the worst.
I watched it as a documentary filmmaker and thought, why? Like, some of the graphics used, for starters, were just no.
I liked the really like cheesy like 3D hamburger that they made in like 2 minutes using some like free software.
I was going to say, I think they used like Microsoft clip art or something.
Ooh, did they have like what is the guy named Clippy? He's like, hey, do you need to make a documentary?
And they used our favorite font, CJ.
Ooh, which one is that?
All of the lower thirds were typograph.
No shit, I didn't
totally
realize
were.
that.
They totally were.
That's my font. That's my baby.
They ruined it.
They ruined that font for me. I can no longer use that font.
No, we're still using that font.
Did anybody else watch the movie this week?
I did watch, well, this week I rewatched Gremlins, both 1 and 2, which I love.
Ooh.
So we can talk about that. But what's interesting is this, a week ago, I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the remake, and then this week Tobe Hooper died.
Oh,
So
shit.
it was just kind of ironic that not ironic, but it was kind of a coincidence that I happened to watch those last week. But I don't know how you guys feel about them. I still think the original is way better than the remake.
Oh, yeah.
And
I enjoy both.
I enjoy both for sure. But it was like they tried to throw too much into the remake, which they kind of do with remakes. But and then as far as Gremlins, both hold up. I love that Gremlins 2 is one of those sequels that's not afraid to make fun of itself and like make fun of the fact that it's a sequel and that, oh, look, Gremlins are coming again. Like, this is really going to happen. And they do that throughout the movie. So it's one of those sequels that I love. And it's totally corny, but they do it very well. Like when Phoebe Cates, in the first one, she talks about how she hates Christmas. And then in the sequel, she talks about how she hates President's Day. It's like stuff like that.
Scotty.
I decided to binge watch all of Stranger Things again, which is just wonderful. And then because The Defenders is out and I hadn't finished Iron Fist, I decided against reason to start trying to watch Iron Fist again.
You know what's really strange about Iron Fist? There's a lot less fisting than I expected there would be in that movie.
my
Correct. Wow.
Yeah, or that TV show.
Yeah, I watched The Defenders as well, but I did not watch Luke Cage or Iron Fist, which made
Good choice.
made
Good
it
choice.
an interesting watch because there really wasn't much to catch up on, it seems.
No,
I thought Luke Cage was really good. I think you missed out. You should watch it.
I disagree with you. I didn't like it. I thought
you didn't?
I didn't think it was as bad as Iron Fist, but I still was like, I'm not going to talk spoilers. I don't think that's not our show. But yeah, I was not the biggest fan in how they told that story.
It felt like all I needed to learn about Luke Cage, I learned in Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, and here's the thing. Mikeal brought up a great point. Those characters did not change from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. There was no reason for us to watch it. Like when we were watching Defenders, it's like they were at a different point, but that changed so quickly. And these are the exact same characters that we ran into. And I think this is the same problem that I'm running into with a lot of Marvel movies nowadays, where characters do not change at all, period. And that's why I'm super frustrated with Defenders, and that's why I'm super frustrated with Marvel, is because look at have you guys seen Civil War? Have you guys seen the new Spider-Man movie?
I haven't
I haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming
Okay,
yet.
but you guys have seen Civil War, right?
Yep.
So, you know, at the end of the movie, Tony Stark was this kind of disgruntled government employee now, right? Right? Like
Yeah.
he was not in a good mood. He was just angry all the time.
Yeah.
Beginning of Spider-Man takes place right after Civil War. Tony Stark is back to like joking billionaire playboy again. Nothing changes in these at all. There's no character development for any of these characters, and it's all plot devices. And yeah, I don't want to go into spoilers with Spider-Man, but it's the exact same thing, and they really like hone in on how they don't want to change these characters in that story.
Well, I could possibly argue that by going further in the past, which I don't think has spoilers for like Avengers 1 or something. But going from Avengers 1 into Iron Man 3, he had this significant crisis of conscience. I mean, he had basically at the end of Avengers 1, he risks his life,
Right.
and only by a miraculous act of screenwriting was he survived.
Right.
By all rights, we shouldn't even be here. Like, he should have been dead at
Right.
the end of that movie. That was the risk he was going to take. They even emphasized that Penelope, I don't know what, Pepper Potts didn't answer her phone and everything. Like, that was a moment. And then so he's like, look, I risked my life for this, and now things are changing. And then I think you're right. From then on, he seems to be slightly different. I mean, I would say that without him risking his life at the end of Avengers 1, it is strange that he is suddenly like Johnny Government all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that's the big change for him. Now, at the same time, when you're looking at how many hours of screen time all these characters are getting, how many changes can they go through? I mean, a real human being doesn't do
Yes,
those life
but I mean,
changes.
like, having how many hours of movie time throughout this entire storyline that none of these characters, like, you can jump in and be like, oh, yep, that's the same Hawkeye that we've seen in the Thor movie when we met him. That's the same character here. And I mean, like, it's frustrating for me because I have no interest in just watching plot developments, and it's the same reason why I have a lot of problems with.
So I agree that it is frustrating from time to time when the characters don't develop throughout the movies. I think the frustration that I'm feeling, that you're probably feeling too, is the fact that Tony Stark apparently doubled back and
Yeah, I think that's
had
a problem too.
Aside where he's like, oh yeah, I am having this character change. Nah, never mind. That wasn't real. That was just for the purposes of that particular story. Because you're right. People only change so much.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
aside
saying
from
like
taking them away from the show or the movie, there's not much you can do in certain instances for character development.
Right. And I'm not saying like I want these characters to change every single movie. I don't want like a different Tony Stark every single movie. But like, it's obvious that they're playing these movies really safe, and the TV shows are having the same issues right now, and they can't, because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? If one person misses a movie, right, if they did any character development in that movie, they'd be thrown off to the next film. So like, the general audience doesn't see every single one of these movies, so they're afraid that people won't understand what's going on here, and it's causing them to not take risks with their characters. And
I do agree with that, actually. And it's unfortunate because I think that there is a huge population that do see all those movies.
Right.
And I think that if that's how they're looking at it, they're really missing the forest for the trees. This is the new soap opera of our generation. And we're paying for it. It's not like we're just watching for free on Channel 9 or something like that. This is serious money that we're spending to pick these things up. I have a rule myself where I'm like, if there's a movie I can watch at home, with a big TV or something like that, then I'll do that. I'm not going to pay to go watch a comedy at the theater, but I'll pay for an experience I can only experience with a huge screen and big old speakers that I don't have.
Right.
And that means usually a Marvel movie or Star Wars or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that.
Joel,
Yes.
how do you feel about superheroes?
I have nothing to offer on this conversation whatsoever.
Well, I watched.
Sorry.
I watched the Defenders with a mindset of comparing it to the Avengers because they're both Marvel, and I mean, the story arc is very similar, and even not watching Iron Fist, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, so that's the Hulk.
You know, he gets really good at fisting in that show. He's really good at fisting.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is it's unpredictable.
He's unpredictable fisting. Killer band name right there.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back on this point, because I thought, here's what an interesting thing about you guys compared to me when watching the Defenders, or for me the series coming up to that. I thought that, because you guys seem to have this outlook of when you watch Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or Daredevil or Iron Fist, that you were watching it as a setup for the Defenders, which big picture it was. But I went into those series as a new chance, a new way for stories to be told. I thought that the way Daredevil was told was very different from the way Jessica Jones was told, was very different from the way Luke Cage was told, which was unfortunately totally different from the way Iron Fist was told. And I think we all can agree that the way they told Iron Fist was just a way to almost lose us. And I hate to keep going back to the fact that it's just a white guy. I don't want to be like anti that, but I felt I am white, and I still had no connection. Like, oh, I hope that Rich Boy gets all his money back. I mean, that was really the plot.
That was the plot of
and he just kept whining about it, and he was so angry, and I was like, I don't relate to this at all. Anyway, but the idea being that for all of those, you guys were looking for it for, oh, how will this lead up to the Defenders? And for me, when watching Luke Cage, I was like, this is just, I thought, a fascinating way to watch this story go, and to see so many people of color really getting to, there's some juicy roles in Luke Cage, even though you might not care about those characters because, heck, they might not even live that long, without giving spoilers away. But I mean, like, it's a dog eat dog world in this part of Hell's Kitchen and everything. So I mean, like, it's important to mention that kind of stuff. Right. But just the idea is like, these are juicy characters, and I saw some actors and actresses that I really love got to do some juicy parts, and I thought that was just fascinating for me. Oh, yeah. So I was enjoying the journey as opposed to the destination. You're absolutely right. The destination kind of didn't change much from point A to point B, but I thought the journey was fun, and in particular, Jessica Jones, I think, just hit the nail on the head. I was like, oh my gosh, this could be really fun.
Because Jessica Jones was an incredible character story. Like, they really delved into those characters, and it wasn't about the big, amazing, like plot devices that they fed these characters into. It was all about the characters. And I think that's a good way to segue back to Mikeal's crap movie of the week, which is What the Health. Was that movie did well in the moments that it was dealing with actual human connection. And there was a part in the second act, and I mean, it's not spoilers, it's a documentary, but he goes off and he goes to Southern America, like rural America, and he talks to people and how meat farming is actually causing them harm. And that was so intriguing, and there was like an actually interesting story right there, and then he goes right off back into the really shoddy science. But all these shows, Game of Thrones is the same way this season, where they're missing these important character stories. And I don't know, Scotty, have you watched Game of Thrones at all this season?
No, not this season. I'm still considering shelling out the $15.
They unfortunately kind of rush into the season because they have to get through a lot of plot, because it's this season and next season, and that's it. There's no more Game of Thrones. So they have to rush a lot of the plot, and in doing so, they're missing all the character interactions. They're not letting the show breathe. There's moments where they do, but for the most part, the show is just plot devices now. And same thing with Marvel movies, and that's why I'm not the biggest fan of those right now. And it's the same thing with What the Health. These things, these movies, these television shows are forgetting people and what people actually care about. And what people actually care about is human connection. And that's what I think, that's our thesis of the week, guys. Human interaction.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. And some of those, depending on the medium, I think the reason that Jessica Jones and Daredevil did so much better is because they weren't movies. You actually had a lot of time to learn about the characters and learn to appreciate them. And again, with What the Health, I think it would have been a perfectly fine documentary, if there were a little more research done and a little less focus on...
A little more research.
A little more research. How about
some research done? And a more focus on the human connection. And if it were 10-minute short film called Vegan Madness, then
It's funny you talk about human connection when you're talking about What the Health, because you brought this up earlier. When he's interviewing this lady who I think she was a diabetic or something, and he's talking to her outside, and he's asking her questions, and she's answering, and they're both on camera, and he's obviously looking directly past her, like he's reading cue cards or something, like Jay Leno, and it's just so like, do you want to talk to this person, or are you gonna make a film? So
yeah. As a filmmaker, I did not appreciate his style in any way, from the graphics to the voiceover work, which was kind of like this. It's like his roommate was in the next room when he did all of his voiceover work, and he didn't want to wake them up.
It's like if he was on an NPR show, which was on an NPR show.
NPR-ception.
Why should people watch What the Health?
You should watch What the Health. Both the it is eye-opening in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes you to ask a few important questions. I think a lot of it for
why
me,
they made this.
Why? No, I mean, I actually the last few minutes were really good, and honestly, I am not the type of person who I don't think I would ever consider going vegan, but if I were on the fence about it, the last few minutes of that film would have put me over
Because
the
it was
edge.
all about the people.
Yeah,
It
was about the people and their personal experiences in the changes in their body and everything.
I think people should watch this if they're interested in how documentaries are made. This is obviously something that he did by himself. You can tell in how he's communicating with people. He may have had like a second person like filming it with him, but for the most part, it was him talking to himself a lot of the times, especially like when he's like, ugh, they didn't talk to me, and he says it on camera. He's definitely not talking to anybody.
He's making these customer service calls, and it would be.
I want you to say what you said before we turn the mics on.
So he has these calls to American Heart Association, American Diabetes Association, and he asks them these very blatant. I was wondering why your website says this when clearly this is true, and why is that? And then they don't answer his question. He's like, oh, they didn't answer my question. It would be like me calling an offshore call center in India for Microsoft and asking to speak with Bill Gates. It's just, if they were to say, no, you can't speak to Bill Gates, I'm like, why not?
And I couldn't get a hold of Bill Gates, so obviously something was up.
Yeah.
And it was so dramatic.
Oh yeah, and then when he did that really dramatic Google search, but wasn't Google because didn't have the name Google in there. Dun, dun, they're sponsored by Dannon.
I think people should watch it for entertainment value, because it's I don't know the guy. He's probably a nice guy, but this is a crappy film, and I think you should watch it to, make fun of it.
And to appreciate good writing by seeing bad writing.
Yes, indeed, yes.
So, hey guys, I have a question for you.
All right, shoot.
This comes from Sarah on Facebook. Thank you, Sarah.
Hey, thanks, Sarah.
And she asks, ooh, this is going to be a fun one. It's going to get a lot of love or a lot of vitriol. I'm super excited about this one. Gender swapping classic movies. Fun twist or lazy storytelling? What do you guys think?
Ooh, it truly depends on the story.
I think it's fine. 100%. I think it's good. I'm tired of reboots. I want to see more original content. I want to see full women casts. I am excited to see Ocean's 8. I think that's going to be a great film. I hope it's going to be a great film. Ghostbusters was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed Ghostbusters. I don't think it was like incredible of a film. I really enjoyed Star Wars Episode 7. It was the same movie as New Hope.
I liked it better the first time when I saw it. It was called Episode 4.
Yeah, but it's these movies where if they're doing these reboots, I would like to see them cast a gender swapping cast, but do a different story. Use the medium that you're using, like Ghostbusters, but do something different with it. The Ghostbusters was kind of beat for beat the same film a lot of the times, which was, I think, especially in the end, it got that way.
Was there a 600-foot marshmallow woman at the end? I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
There truly was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman?
It was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but yeah. But that's it's just how it
It
goes.
was an homage.
Yeah, it was an
Okay.
no, it's
It wasn't the end all. It was.
But it's one of those situations where these movies are playing the same beats as the original, and that's where I get frustrated. If they kind of took a chance and did something else with it, I'd be much more inclined to enjoy them. But freaking make movies. I like movies. I think this is great. I don't think that these are issue things. I think people are making this such a big issue. It's like, why are you casting an all women's Tron?
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think of any. What are some other examples?
Well, there's the Ghostbusters reboot, and then what would you say about Ocean's 8 or something?
Yeah, Ocean's 8. It's an Ocean's 11 sequel that's an all female cast.
Okay, that's 2. What's another one?
I think that's about it. I mean, there's not much else.
Oh, there was talk about the Expendables all girls or something like that. Did they ever finish that one?
I'm not sure. You know what? They are working on that one. Doctor Who is another one.
Well, I mean, does that count? Because is that gender swapping or is that just one person? I thought it had to be like
I think
show.
there's a lot of issues with that, especially in the community where people are talking about how the Doctor has never been a woman. Why would the Doctor ever be a woman? The Doctor's not human. Let's be real
what's
here.
The problem?
Yeah. I think, first of all, I think that it could be very fun to do it that way, to do it truly that way. However, currently, I think what we're seeing is really just backlash against female actresses.
Oh yeah,
is what it comes down to. Because true gender swapping means that then the girls' parts are now guys, and that I don't see. Like I just did a show of Cinderella, and I thought that if it were flipped, it would be hilarious. In fact, I even saw like a cartoon version online for like
Cinderella.
It was called Cinderfella.
Oh, that's better.
But it was something about like how horrible these princess stories are for kids. Like you would never read this to your children, would you? And I was like, that actually sounds hilarious. I would totally do that.
Yeah.
I would love to play one of the wicked step brothers. That'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
What other things would you guys like to see gender swapped? Because I was thinking.
So
if you had something that was like, super known for being men or women, like Charlie's Angels, and you had 3 guys, and then the girl was a lady was the boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a movie called Groomsmen, I would be all for that.
I think you know what, Bridesmaids 2, and just still it's a bunch of dudes who are bridesmaids.
There you go.
I am so down with that film.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I would be super down. It's like, so like movies like that, I would absolutely love. But now we're going on the dude side. Let's go on the other side of things.
So things we would want to see,
or just flip flopped. Yeah, I could.
We talked about this last week. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory would be super rad as a gender swap cast.
Oh yeah, with the gal who played Elle as Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Who would be Charlie? Who would be
Let's not use my response.
They
please.
want Winona Ryder.
I do not anymore. Now that I thought about it, that's not a good choice.
We were talking about swapping the Stranger Things cast with the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory cast.
Oh, I could see that.
What about Psycho?
Oh, yeah.
The woman kills the man. The woman dresses up as her father and kills the man in the shower.
That would be
that would be
very
good.
interesting.
Yeah. I would dig that.
Yeah.
Wait, they did something. Well, they did American Psycho 2.
And American Psycho the musical.
But it starred Mila Kunis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with the original film.
Oh, okay.
Well, because it could just be a conglomeration of all American Psychos.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like American
who
Horror
happened
Story.
to drop a chainsaw down a staircase.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Really nail him.
Yeah.
Just a big anthology about different American Psychos.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, Mikeal, do you have a question for me?
I sure do. Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Hey, what's that question, Mikeal?
Go for it.
So this is an anonymous question.
Ooh, they're
It's
secretive.
from Anonymous.
How is that again? You want to try again?
Sure.
Was there supposed to be like a joke there or something?
I'm gonna jump straight to straight.
So I have a
3 on that
question
one.
for you from Anonymous. What story can you add and zombies to make it 100 times better? Now, the obvious example being Pride and Prejudice and zombies. So what other stories?
Good.
We're gonna keep it classical. Romeo and Juliet and zombies.
Oh, that's
I
good.
would watch that so hard.
Oh, so right off the bat, anything that has the word "and" in it already is just prime for the comedy of threes. Anyway.
Or you could change it to a comment. Romeo, Juliet, and zombies.
Yes. With the Oxford
Yeah,
comma.
Oxford comma.
I want some in a musical somewhere, so I'm thinking like
Legally Blonde and zombies.
No, I'm thinking like classic musical, like The Music Man and zombies, or
42nd
You've got
Street
trouble
and
right here in
zombies.
River City. Trouble with a capital Z.
That's good.
That's actually so good. The Music Man and Zombies. I am
Music
so
with a
down with
Z.
this.
M-U-Z-I-C.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dumb.
And I mean, that was already a thing when a few years ago that that somebody came up with, but The Sound of Music with zombies.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
The sound,
they-
The Sound of Music and The Sound of Zombies.
There's a movie that got made. I don't know if it got released or not, but it was produced by Elton John. Strangely,
Interesting.
yeah, it's called Pride and Predator, and it's like the Predator in Pride and Prejudice, and it's just like the same kind of concept. I love these films. All right, so what's more and zombies that would work?
You could do like When Harry Met Sally and zombies.
Ooh, okay.
But just if we're gonna mix the genres together.
Any rom-com
Yes.
while you were sleeping.
While you're sleeping
zombies.
and zombies. Oh my gosh, it'd be like 28 days later, except also I love you.
You've got mail and zombies.
That's good. That's good.
That is good.
Beauty and the
Beauty
Beast
and
and
zombies.
zombies.
That's what I was thinking.
Beauty and the Beast and zombies. It even has the and in there. I love it. 101 Dalmatians and zombies.
Are they zombie Dalmatians?
That's
Oh,
kind of
that's
scary.
terrifying.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make a small twist. 101 Dalmatians versus zombies.
Ooh.
That I would watch. I would pay good money to watch that.
So, Scotty, you haven't been here for a couple weeks, but the rules of our 6 degrees of separation is you have to know the name of the actors, you have to you have to know the name of the movie.
Actor and movie.
They can be in television,
TV's
right?
okay. So
but
I'd
they
say if
have
there's
to
any
they
other
have
show.
to be in the same episode. So you can't have a guest star and another guest star who is in the show.
Oh, well, you could. You just have to add another degree in there.
Right. So, who do you have for us this week?
Today, this week, I have 6 degrees of separation. Don Knotts to Don Cheadle.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. And it is possible.
It is possible.
Okay.
In fact, it might even be too easy.
All right then.
So while we deliberate that, we're gonna have you guys listen to a word from our sponsors. Hey friends, it's Charles, your humble host, just checking in to see how things are going. Have you talked to your mom lately? You know, she called wondering how you're doing. You should definitely touch base with her. No need to worry her. So this space in the podcast is going to be used to let you all know what's going on in Something Random's neck of the woods. And first off, I want to thank everyone who's been listening to the podcast, sending us questions, letting us know what you think of the pod. We love to hear from you. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Something Random Media. You can email us at info@somethingrandommedia.com. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Kelly, Mister, not Mr. And I have links in the episode descriptions for all of these things for you. Next, if we don't answer your question on the podcast, we're probably answering it on our weekly live show where we have more time to get more in depth with some of these questions. Right now, Mikeal, Joel, and Scotty are all heading into Tech Week for their respective shows, so timing on that is a bit rough right now. But once we settle into things a bit more, we'll do our hardest to put that out as regularly as we do the podcast. Links to that are on our Facebook page. Finally, we are so friggin' excited to announce the release date of our short film Tick. Rain or shine, if it's not done, I don't care. It's going to be out Friday, September 29th. A little bit about the short film. It's a suspense thriller about mental illness, alcoholism, and demons. I'm recording this and editing the podcast late Tuesday night because I spent all my time last night recording audio bits for the short film, and it's fantastic, and I know you guys are going to be digging it as much as I do, or I hope at least you're going to be digging it as much as I do. You know, I joke about it, but the best way to share the podcast with your friends is to grab your friend's phone and download the podcast for them. We also post full shows on our YouTube page, and sending them a link to your favorite episode is just as easy. You are all fantastic, and I love you.
Every year, new TV shows get canceled.
Some make it an entire season, and some don't even make it that far. I'm Ed, host of Unaired, where each week we review a show that was canceled with episodes left unaired, then pitch our ideas for what could have been future episodes of those shows. We've covered shows like Cavemen, the show based on the Geico Cavemen commercials, the ill-fated 2011 Wonder Woman pilot, a show called Look Well, where Adam West plays an aging TV detective who thinks he can solve real crimes, and many more. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, unairedpodcast.com, or wherever you download podcasts. And remember, some things are better left unaired.
All right, and now we're back. Thank you very much. Scotty, how much time did that take for me to figure out that answer?
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute.
Well, we haven't heard your answer yet. But
All right,
we can
so
So don't waste time.
so Don Cheadle was in Pleasantville with Tobey Maguire.
No, he
Don
wasn't.
Knotts.
No,
You're
Don
already out.
Knotts. Sorry,
You're already
Don. No.
Don's
I meant. Okay, Don Knotts was in Pleasantville with Tobey Maguire.
They
Right?
look a lot alike, though. It's okay.
Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey Jr. were in Tropic Thunder together.
Oh, my
they
gosh,
were.
they were.
And Robert Downey Jr. and Don Cheadle are in Iron Man and Avengers.
What was that, 3 degrees?
That's two.
Jeez.
That's 2.
Boom!
Pretty good.
Or 3. That's 3.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say 3, but still, that's very good.
So, Scotty.
Okay, wait.
Scotty.
So, because I had another one to add to it.
Oh no!
I don't know
no,
if that
baby.
counts.
Oh no,
Alright.
baby! So now you get to watch a movie of our choosing.
Oh, come on!
Tell us what your thing was. What you had.
Yeah, how did you get
Oh, how did I do it?
Did you have a separate?
I took a little bit longer. I was going to go. Actually, I didn't even think that far through it. I was going to go. Mine was a couple longer. It was going to go to Spider-Man, and then because I wasn't sure if you can count the same character.
No,
because you totally
no.
count. Because otherwise, every Spider-Man reboot counts for some reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was going to be something similar, but that was much faster than I think that's the fastest way you can do it.
Ooh, that was pretty solid. So we talked about a movie earlier, and I'm gonna make you watch this. I'm gonna find it somewhere online. The movie is called Warriors of Virtue.
Oh, that's right. Kangaroo ninjas.
Kangaroo ninjas. So the premise of this movie is a young boy is whisked away to the mythical land of Tao, where he becomes the center of a conflict between an evil lord and a group of animal warriors. Kangaroo ninjas.
Is it just kangaroo ninjas, or is there other animal warriors?
I think it's, if I remember right, it's kangaroos. 5 humanoid kangaroos.
Oh, 5. So that's how they distinguish
are they,
from the turtles.
How old are they? Are they, like 14 or so? Are they possibly?
Are they in their 20s? Are they in their 10s?
Are they possibly teenage ninja kangaroos?
So I think with this, it had to be like middle-aged
Shaolin.
ancient kangaroos.
Well, ancient's not the opposite
Yeah.
of mutant.
No, so Shaolin.
Let's see. So it'd be like middle-aged.
So middle-aged.
Teenage.
So
Middle-aged. Shaolin. What's the opposite of mutant? Inhuman.
No. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was thinking like middle-aged Shaolin something kangaroos.
Oh yeah, it's teenage mutant. So it'd have to be like middle-aged, inhuman.
Samurai kangaroo.
I like
Samurai.
I like Shaolin kangaroos.
Shaolin.
What's it actually called?
It's called Warriors of Virtue.
Warriors of Virtue. Wait a minute. Warriors of so warriors with virtue, virtuous warriors, not like they fight virtue. Take that
No,
virtue.
warriors.
Hi-ya.
They are the warriors of virtue, and I think each one had their own like specific virtue that they.
So like
So like
Captain
wind,
Planet.
water, heart.
Oh, it's so good.
And instead of being named after painters, are they named after fashion designers or something?
Their
Gucci,
names,
come here.
their names are Yun, Yi, Lai, Chi, and Sun.
Not
Okay.
Vera Wang and
Jeff, Greg.
Cool. What's next?
I have a question for you guys. Who do you think could play Hitler in a movie?
asked so
That came out
casually.
of nowhere. All right. Can you ask that question one more time?
Well, who do you think is the best actor to play Hitler in a film?
Oh, best actor to play Hitler in a film. Now, are we doing like serious, or is this like a comedic kind of a situation?
You know what? I suggest we have answers for each category.
All right, let's do. Okay.
And a gender swap. We need a gender
Oh
swap.
shit. Okay, so let's start from the top. Romantic Hitler.
How is it the top? What alphabet are you
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas as romantic.
Romantic Hitler.
As romantic Hitler.
I think who got caught with a prostitute and is British?
Richard Gere.
No, Hugh Grant. It was
Hugh Grant. I think Hugh Grant could be a romantic Hitler.
Hugh Grant is not one of the. I don't know. I mean,
He could be like a charming, clumsy Hitler.
I don't find him very charming.
Well, he'd slip in his tall boots and be like, "Whoopsie daisy."
All right. So next one, Action Hitler.
Action Hitler.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis as Action
Willis,
Hitler.
yes.
Oh my
definitely
God.
Bruce.
Yeah. He'd even grow his top hair out, barely and comb it over.
Or he could just get a really awful toupee,
I really think
like
it should
Christian
just
Bale
be like
in that one movie.
I think it's pronounced taupe.
Twoop. It's a twoopy.
In German, is it?
So I think if Bruce Willis is gonna play Hitler, I think he should just look like Bruce Willis and just like not even try to do an accent. He's like, "Hey,
And just have the little
I'm
mustache.
Hitler."
Yeah.
No, not even the mustache. Just go.
No, he's got to have the mustache.
If we were to do that, it would be
Yippee, oh
Sean
mein
Connery,
Kampf.
and he could just keep
Motherfucker.
his same voice. I think Sean Connery would be a better one to just keep his regular accent.
'Cause
and
that's
be
all
an
he can
action
do.
Hitler. Right, exactly. I am the Third Reich.
I am the Spaniard. Dramatic.
Okay,
Adrian
Yeah,
Brody.
what about someone to really portray a good Hitler?
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, he's quit acting, so you can't get him.
Well, I'm
For,
gonna
like-
get him back. 'cause
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
gonna
He's gonna be. He's like, I played an
He won't be able to
American
resist.
president. I played Hitler.
Who else do you think could play?
on that note, Sean Austin could be a really good
Sean
sensitive Hitler.
Sensitive Hitler.
Like early
So you
on,
guys gonna eat all those
applying for
Reese's?
art school, you know.
Oh yeah.
All right, comedy Hitler.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell be a great comedy Hitler?
Ooh, you know, we skipped over something that we. Well, I'm sorry. I'll do.
We'll do it next. But T.J. Miller.
You're just in love with T.J. Miller.
I
don't
love
know.
T.J. Miller, man.
And what about David Hasselhoff?
He already kind of has that very like German look about him.
And he's loved in Germany.
Yeah, he's loved out there.
He's huge in Germany.
Zach Galifianakis.
Seth Rogen. Mikeal, that's not the laugh.
Oh, actually, who could be both funny and charming would be who's Seth Rogen's boyfriend? Who's in all the movies?
Paul Rudd.
No. Prettier.
James Franco.
James Franco.
On that same route, Michael Cera.
Oh my god! I want to see Michael Cera play him. That's funny.
I don't know. It's just I'm supposed to take over all of Germany.
want to rule the country and rule the whole world, you know.
You rule the country and you do it. You do it so smooth. It's like you're not even trying. I'm actually trying really
Oh my
hard.
god!
I'm just trying.
Could he call himself Mr. Manager of Germany?
So I guess look who's what is the ruler of Germany called again? So look who's Mr. Führer.
We just say Führer.
That's
just
the
say
name of the
Führer
movie,
here.
Mr. Führer.
Another good comedy / drama guy would be Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Guys, I got a question for you.
Yeah. What's that question?
What is the opposite of the Criterion Collection, and what should be featured in it? It kind of goes without saying. The Criterion Collection, in case anybody doesn't know, is a collection of very famous old movies and also every single Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I've been listening to this podcast where they talk about just the movies.
Thank you.
No, yeah, ours too. But I've been listening to a podcast called the Three Friends Do the Criterion Collection, and every single episode they talk about a different movie in the collection. I want to see the opposite of that, but the Criterion Collection sometimes doesn't have the best films. I mean, they're great classic films, but I don't think that these movies that we choose are bad films. I think it's going to be like not art house. So like dick and fart jokes, but they're still good movies.
Yes, or ones that are the opposite of pretentious.
Yes.
Let's see, what's a good...
Untentious. No.
Untentious. Okay. So, do we want to come up with what it's called first? What's the Criterion Collection?
Yeah, let's spitball some names.
Crapterion.
Criteria off.
Criterion off. Let's do criteria off, just to really emphasize it. So if we're talking about movies that embrace that they're, well, that could almost be like what Joel's talking about, like when they're tongue in cheek of themselves, but they do it well.
Okay. Like you mean like
kind of like
Gremlins
Gremlins 2 or something. I don't know. I feel like Hot Rod has to be in some category of movie, and I'm going to say that's it.
Okay, so that's the style of movie that we're going to go with.
Well, possibly. I mean, it could, because not every movie in the Criterion Collection is the same exact style.
Right.
Some of them are just old and boring.
All right. Favorite films that are like low bar quality. I think that's what's going to be in these.
But they excel at low bar.
The Other Guys.
Oh, okay.
I think we should go. Let's do something that's not comedy next. Let's do action. Die Hard would never be in the Criterion Collection. It should be in the Criterion Off Collection.
Oh God, I think the first Die Hard movie is almost like an action spoof, but it's just done so well because it has all those elements, like trademark, like what's like a trademark, but like
Catchphrase?
Yeah, like they have catchphrases. It's almost like they do all the checklist stuff for like a bad action movie, but it made a good action movie.
All right, Michael.
Oh man, underappreciated movies. You know, if we wanted to go a different route, I would say A Walk to Remember.
A Walk to Remember with Jessica or with Mandy Moore?
Yup.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that like one of your like top movies?
Not one of my top, but as far as getting an emotional reaction out of me, it's one of the movies that can do that.
All right, Joel.
I have a couple. I would say the entire Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Ooh, yes. Okay, I dig it.
Including Freddy versus Jason. And there's also a movie that is one of my very favorite movies, and hardly anybody has ever heard of it. It's got Ralph Macchio in it. It's called it's called Crossroads, and it's he's a guitar player, and he goes to the crossroads to it's kind of like The Devil Went Down to Georgia, you know.
Okay.
But it's but with blues guitar. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that movie, but it's great.
Down with Love. Have any of you seen that movie?
No.
Down with Love.
It's Ewan McGregor. It's Renee Zellweger. It's like a musical without the music. It's so musical, and it's a romantic comedy, and it's fantastic.
What's it called again?
Down with Love. It's great.
There's also a movie called The Stoned Age. And it is it was made in the 90s, but it takes place in the 70s. They kind of tried to be like Dazed and Confused, but they failed miserably. It's not a great movie, but I really like it. There's not really anybody famous in it, but it's I would put it in my Criterion collection.
I would say also the Stargate movie would be on that
The
Criterion.
original movie.
David,
not
David,
made for TV.
David Spader.
Oh, the original one.
Yeah, not the TV show. The original
I actually really
movie.
like that. Bog.
No, that is a quality film. And if we're talking about that, then Swing Kids, I would say.
Yeah,
Swing Kids? Oh, yeah,
Swing
with a
Kids.
very young Christian Slater.
Bale.
I have
Oh, yeah, whatever. Obviously I meant Christian Bale.
I have one more.
Obviously, because you said Slade.
I have one more,
I saw you use the list.
Okay.
even though I talked about it last week. Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, I love that
Okay.
movie.
I freaking love that movie, and
Freaking love
so
that
many
movie.
people are like, Joe versus the Volcano is such a stupid movie.
Oh, it's
and
great.
it's if once you get past the title, it's a really good movie.
It's gold.
because people look at it and go, Joe versus the Volcano, what a stupid movie. But it's actually really good.
It's the archetypal Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie. It's the first one they ever did
Absolutely.
together, and she gets to play
She plays 3 parts.
3 parts, and it's so good. And not only that, I'm sorry that I missed this last week because, gosh, I love that movie. You know, the shape of the company he works for.
Oh yeah, shows
That
up
lightning-
throughout the film.
Oh,
yeah.
tons of time. The lightning bolt that hits the boat. It's the line of all the little
Going up the mountain,
going up the mountain,
on the
all
island.
their all their fires and stuff. So good.
Or not the mountain, the volcano.
The volcano. plus, you will never see a movie where one man is more excited about luggage.
Yes. There's a lot of greats in that movie that get forgotten about. Abe Vigoda's in it. Nathan Lane is in it.
Nathan Lane's in it?
Nathan Lane is in
Who
it.
does he play?
He's one of the Islanders.
Oh,
Are you
that's
Joe?
right.
And then there's
Are you Joe?
Joe Banks. There's Robert Stack. There's Lloyd Bridges. Dan Hidaya's in it. A ton of people are in that movie that you just get forgotten about
Oh, and
because they have such small parts.
One of my best pickup lines ever that I've only used once is in that movie. Is when they're at the restaurant and there's like a bunch of mariachis, and so he goes up and he talks to him and he comes. She sits back down and she goes, "What did you do?" And he says,
What did you say?
"I bribed him to sing us a song that will make our hearts swell and burst."
Oh, there's so many good lines in that movie.
I actually love that movie. In fact, that movie is on a different category for me, which is on like the last 10 movies I'll watch in my lifetime. Like if you could choose the movies you're going to watch when you're like on your deathbed.
Yeah.
Deathbed movie list.
Okay, so
I'm afraid we're failing at this criteria off.
I think,
Oh, no.
I think it was a good list. I think it's great.
Basically, like, just because we're not pretentious. I mean, I'm like the least pretentious of all people.
But, so let's be real here. Maybe not pretentious, very narcissistic. Let's be a little real here.
Yes.
Okay, so what movie do you guys want to do? I think we could do the Mikeal Cera, the Mikeal Cera Hitler movie would be good. I think that would be good, or like one of the End Zombies films would be good.
Wait a minute, wait. Hitler and zombies.
Oh,
There's
Hitler
already
and Zombies?
There's already a movie.
Is there one?
Yeah, it's not called Hitler and Zombies, but it's like Nazi zombie movie. It's
Oh, well, there's tons of Nazi zombie movies, but
Hitler versus zombies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mikeal Cera as Hitler
Oof.
versus a bunch of zombies.
oh my god, actually, very interesting twist-wise, and it sounds just so cold and everything because I don't ever want to justify what Hitler did, but there are some very interesting. Because why would anyone want to do that? But I mean, there's like an interesting writing thing about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Right.
Where it's like, the idea was like, sure, slavery is bad. We all know that. But the book is much better. But it takes this line where it's like, well, what if actually the real reason why he started the Civil War, why he went for all these things, he didn't start the Civil War, but like where the idea being that they wanted to the slavery was just another way that vampires in the South could just keep trading people and buying them and all this other stuff because they needed food, all this other stuff. So they just drank the blood of all these slaves.
I like Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh yeah,
I love
thoroughly
it.
enjoyed that.
In fact, as far as the movies go, though, because the movie itself wasn't as good as the ripoff version of Abraham Lincoln Zombie Slayer or something like that, when he had like a little scythe that it was like cut off and just would be as long as his wrist, and he could slice it out. It was fun.
Talking about crazy presidents, am I fucking insane, or was there a horror film with Ronald Reagan as the villain with a hatchet?
Ooh, I kind of want to see it though.
I think
there was a movie
Like
called
actual
FDR.
Ronald Reagan in the movie?
No. It wasn't Ronald Reagan. It was somebody playing like a zombie
he's
undead Ronald
dead.
Reagan
That's
with
true.
a hatchet killing people.
That I do not know.
It's time for you. I gotta work on my Reagan accent.
Yeah.
There was a great movie called FDR American Badass, and he had like machine guns mounted to his wheelchair. It was really good.
I don't know. Maybe instead of Hitler, we should think of a president that we could turn into. Well, of course, that's kind of already been done with the Abe Lincoln thing, but
or we could do a
like maybe take a very unsuspecting president you wouldn't think of as such a badass, like Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, vampire slayer.
Yeah, he'd have to use his hammer and some nails.
Right.
Or the stakes, because he's building houses.
Yes,
he's like,
yes.
everyone, come on.
He's volunteer.
Retired.
He's a volunteer
Jimmy Carter.
vampire hunter. I don't know. Where do you want to go with this? We need some sort of maybe political figure.
You know what would be funny? Everybody always goes for the number one in charge. Why don't they go for like Dan Quayle versus zombies?
Yeah,
or
I was
something?
just saying
Or like the first lady versus the zombies.
Or the
I'd
vice
watch
president.
Michelle Obama cook zombies' ass.
Michelle Obama and zombies.
No. So, but are we gonna do like a president versus something kind of a movie, or is that the direction we want to go? Because we can go the Obamas versus zombies.
Wait, I like the idea though of like a universally hated character, for a universally hated realistic historical person like Hitler or Kim Jong-il or something like that, played
Mel
by
Gibson.
played
Mel
by
Gibson versus.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson and Kramer, whatever his name is,
Michael Richards.
versus zombies, and everyone's like, I'm kind of rooting for the zombies. At this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. They could play. So if we have Hitler and
and I don't know, Goebbels or something.
and who?
I don't know when a Hitler's lackey.
Hitler
like
could
Goebbels.
team up with
Goebbels.
yeah, somebody.
Oh, Hitler and Stalin or something.
No, it could be like Hitler and somebody that
Gaddafi.
people like a lot of the time. Where it's like they really should we really hate Mel Gibson, but we
That's what
also
I'm saying.
kind of like this guy.
What's that
That's what I'm
guy?
saying.
What's that British comic who's super skinny and has long hair?
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand.
So we already cast him in something last
No.
week.
We're gonna have Michael Richards play Russell Brand.
Michael Richards playing Russell Brand.
Yes, and then Mel Gibson playing Hitler. So it's like Russell Brand and Hitler, a buddy comedy action flick.
But I think so if Mel Gibson is playing Hitler, who's playing Mel Gibson? Because I thought we were going the opposite route. It's like Mel Gibson versus Hitler.
Hitler is the real life Hitler is playing Mel Gibson.
Jimmy Carter's
that's
still
too much.
alive. We could get him to play Hitler or play Mel Gibson.
Kind of a digression here, but have you guys seen Bubba Hotep?
Yes, I love Bubba Hotep, and I thought that's where you're going. Bubba Hotep, by the way, should be added into the Criterion Collection.
Yeah. So let me.
Bubba Hotep.
Okay, so it's an Elvis impersonator, right? Well, we don't know for sure, and a black man who thinks he is John F. Kennedy, who are both extremely old.
Oh, is this the one with Harvey Keitel?
No,
This
it's
is
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, yeah.
It's if there were ever a way to somehow make a movie of Elvis and a black John F. Kennedy fighting a mummy, that's what this movie is.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's go back. Are you guys liking this idea, or should we go somewhere else?
I forgot what we're gonna do with it. We're gonna cast the whole thing. Is that what it is?
We're gonna cast it and kind of write it and make it.
I can work with anything. I think I'm throwing out some crazy ideas, throwing us off. I apologize.
You guys, let's try heading the other direction. You guys don't look so jazzed about.
No,
this
I
idea.
think we can do presidents, and I think we can have like more than one president. Like if we
That's good.
If we had a president, like remember how SNL had ex-presidents?
So some sort of a time warp.
No, shit.
No,
yes,
no.
Michael is okay.
Like,
no,
so if we have a president, let's go with someone that's not super modern, like someone that's older now, like maybe,
Taft or something.
No. Like I'm thinking Clinton or like Bush Senior, but then we have like, or even Jimmy Carter, and then we have like the newer presidents come in and help, or vice presidents, and then we have zombie presidents from the past that they're either killing off or they join sides or something.
You know how they always say like the founding fathers are rolling in their graves? They literally are.
They've been waiting
back.
to be.
They've rolled over for the last time.
No, I like this idea. I think living presidents versus like zombie presidents.
Oh my God, we're screwed.
There's some sort of secret White House practice that turns all of our former presidents into zombies.
Okay,
it's a numbers game, first of all.
Yeah, let's
already...
let's talk about like how this would happen. First off, I think this should be like more mystical. I think we're dealing in that route. So there's some kind of like weird spell. Like somebody said like some like radio host, right, said like the founding fathers are rolling in the grave if they ever heard this, and it actually comes true. Like this Rush Limbaugh looking motherfucker.
Oh my gosh.
Rush Limbaugh as played by. Okay, so I guess we can get so here's the idea. So Rush Limbaugh as played by Matt. Whatever, I forgot his name. Who's in
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, thank you. Damon.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So it's okay.
So here's the idea. Rush Limbaugh finds a magic spell casting book from all the alt-right Nazis or something like that.
Right.
So that's how we also get Mel Gibson playing Hitler, like a flashback scene or something like that. And he's like, hey, we're going to bring the founding fathers back to support whatever. Oh God, that's going to get political real fast.
I think that's okay. I think we come to learn that whatever this person says, like maybe he has like some like weird spell cast on him, right? So he has some weird spell cast on him. When he says like these things are happening, they actually come to life. So he in his words on his radio show, created the zombies.
Oh, I was gonna say like pulls out an ancient book and like, here's some leftist propaganda. I'm just gonna read it right now and accidentally enacts.
Klaatu Verata necktie, Neptune.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that an accidental reading of a spell or something on air, and because of the radio waves, it gets to all the right points.
Because of all those wonderful people with their radios tuned in historic grave sites across the country.
They all hear that the founding fathers are rolling in their graves. So you got Zombie Hamilton, you've got Zombie Jefferson.
Oh, founding fathers. Okay, so we're moving away
founding
from
fathers.
presidents because
We could do presidents too. I mean, it can go.
I don't know too much about the middle 30s of the presidents, so maybe we'd run out.
I think it can be anybody. We could get Benjamin Franklin in there.
Oh no, that'd be even better if we have like all the actual presidents and how the zombie presidents refuse to allow zombie Benjamin Franklin and zombie Alexander Hamilton in. They're like, no, you can't fight, you weren't president. And they're like, oh god, you guys are asses. So suddenly they're helping the real presidents because they want to fight somewhere.
I like this. I think, no, instead of doing that, I think people will be like, oh my god, zombie president Alexander Hamilton. And everybody's like, no, you fucking idiot. He was never president.
And in the
that's
meantime,
just like
both of them are eaten.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they're arguing over whether he's president or not.
and that's
but
like
he's
a-
on this money. Ah!
And then that's like a consistent joke. And then you've got like the Benjamin Franklin, where everybody's like, oh my god, President Franklin. No, he wasn't a president. No.
No, he wasn't a president. He's
All right, so who would we cast? Who would we cast as presidents? Who would we cast as the living presidents?
I think let's get Alec Baldwin to come and do his Trump. And,
Okay, I dig that.
no, and then we could make a whole thing of like, oh, I'm the best. I am the best at killing zombies.
He should.
No one is better than me
Like,
at killing zombies.
I think
what he's really the best at is pushing AIDS in front of the zombies as he stands
yep,
on the post.
Exactly.
So I
exactly.
think,
so there's a really critical moment where it all comes down to him like actually doing what he said he can do, and then he can't.
I honestly think I couldn't watch an hour and a half of a Donald Trump impersonator.
Yeah, he
I
could
think he should
come
be
in
like
at the end or
he should
something.
he should be killed first. I think he should be like on like look at me, Donald Trump.
I mean, if we want to sell tickets
then-
to this thing, then
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what?
it was-
That's how it is because he's giving a speech
that's
in
not the
front of
reason.
the
Right.
founding fathers' grave sites or something like that, and so that's live TV. We're like, oh, this shit's real, and then we cut to Jimmy Carter like pumping a shotgun. It's on. not on my watch.
So
Not on my watch.
So can we go back to Don Cheadle as Obama?
Yes.
Okay, I dig that.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Okay.
But I'm also up for colorblind casting of ex-president, of dead presidents.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be heavily made up anyway. So,
Right.
hey.
Yeah, I don't think we have to cast like famous actors as the zombie presidents. I don't think that's
I think
necessary.
it'd be more fun.
I
'Cause
think we
people are
should.
gonna
I
be like,
think we should feature Lin-Manuel.
As Hamilton?
Yeah, as
Oh,
Hamilton.
really? I was gonna have
As
Lin-Manuel
Zombie
Miranda.
Hamilton.
It should be like Lin-Manuel is just like not Hamilton. He'd be like, that guy looks familiar.
I was gonna have Lin-Manuel be like eaten while trying to take a selfie with the dead.
That's what I was
Hamilton.
going to say. He could walk up and go, "Hey, President Hamilton," and people like, but like he's not playing Lin-Manuel. He's playing a guy that.
Oh,
thinks-
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that idea. So who would we cast as the zombie founding fathers? I mean, are we? This is obviously a comedy. Like,
Okay. Who played Norm on Cheers?
George Wendt.
George Wendt is going to be dead William Howard Taft.
All right. Can we have Liam Neeson as Theodore Roosevelt?
No,
Yes.
Okay, I like Liam Neeson as Bill Clinton. Actually,
Hey, that's not bad.
yeah.
Because he's going to use the same Irish accent no matter what.
Yep.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But I am gonna have sexual relations with your empty skull. Yes.
Oh dear.
So we got Don Cheadle as Obama. We've got Liam Neeson.
As Clinton.
I would
Clinton.
like.
Clinton,
I know this is going a little further back, but if we could get Patrick Stewart in there as Eisenhower, that would be great.
Ooh, that'd be good.
yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
Just because they're both bald,
Mm-hmm.
and he is a very gifted actor.
So if Patrick Stewart is Eisenhower, then I think it'd be fun to have Jonathan Frakes as JFK.
That'd be fucking weird.
Actually, that ain't bad.
What?
though.
because he's better looking.
Okay, yeah.
Or he depending, I don't know how he looks like now, he might be a little heavier, but basically, and then not only that, he can just have obviously the back of his head's gone, so that's too soon.
No.
But as far as zombies go,
Gosh. Okay, so let's think about our more recent presidents too, because we've got
What about
still
Bush
living.
Jr.?
We've got Bush Jr. and Senior. We talked about Clinton. We've got
So we need an actual father son.
Jimmy
pair
Carter.
of the Bushes.
Bush Junior and Senior. Do we have any father-son actors that we could use?
Will Smith.
Will and Jaden Smith.
No.
We could do
No,
Charlie
no,
Sheen
no.
and Martin Sheen.
I was gonna say that it'd be a departure for those two.
You know what? I would
Considering
say
West Wing and everything.
I would honestly say not Charlie Sheen, but we should go
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio West. Oh, he's already played a president too.
What?
You didn't see Machete? Oh wait, no, that wasn't Emilio Estevez anyway.
What?
That's
Wait.
good though. I like Emilio Estevez and Martin Sheen though.
Yeah.
Because he was Charlie Sheen, but he
Clever.
went with his original name.
Who can we get for Reagan? Because Reagan is still semi-freshly dead. So he
Oh,
wouldn't
well,
be-
maybe we can go like to James Franco or something like that.
I think
Because
it
he was
should-
an actor.
I honestly love Michael Showalter's Reagan is probably some of the best shit.
Oh,
I've
that's
seen.
right, Michael Showalter from It's Always or the Hot Wet American Summer.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I ever saw his Reagan.
Oh.
Ben Garant from Reno 911 in the State, who has also worked with Michael Showalter, had an amazing Abraham Lincoln during the State, and it was I can't remember what the title of the documentary was called that they were spoofing,
Mhm.
but it was like Abe Lincoln, the drunken liar, or something like that. And it was like, gee, Mr. President, you're so great. And he would go, shut up, and smack the kid. That could be the evil Abe.
Evil Abe.
Evil Abe.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, we haven't come up with a name for this movie yet, guys.
Something about the dead presidents. Presidents.
Oh god.
That's the working title, which means we're not going to use it.
The Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of
Declaration.
Declaration of Undead.
The
Founding.
Declaration.
I've got it. Founding fart herds.
The
So dumb.
The Declaration.
The
Wait, but giggle like a
Declaration
fourth grader. It'll be funny.
of Independence, and now it's a dance film.
Actually, I have a new idea. The Declaration of Independent Dads, and it's just a bunch of dads wearing like sandals
As the
and socks
founding
barbecuing.
fathers.
Oh no. Okay. Back to it. Real name for this film.
Fathers, founding, drowning fathers. Is there like a
No.
dying word that sounds like founding? Inauguration of the Living Dead or something like the Living Dead is a possibility. Can you believe they almost called it Zombies on a Plane until they finally realized Flight of the Living Dead was what they're going to have to call it? Like the working title, if you watch the behind the scenes, they called it Zombies on a Plane. I'm like, Flight of the Living Dead is right there. So how about
You know what? It could be an of the Living Dead movie. I think
I got it.
you got it.
Washington, DeCeased.
Oh my God, that's it.
We got it.
Now we have a title. Now we got a movie.
Washington, and it should be D.C. East.
Yes.
I'm
all about
we can
that.
discuss that further. We'll see.
I'm the one that
I'm
makes
gonna let the producer give the last kibosh on that. If they're gonna give us money, let's do it. Okay,
All
so
right.
now that we have Washington DeCeased, oh my God, it's gold.
We have so much of the cast. I mean, like we could be here for hours just discussing who would be all.
Well, let's talk about who's directing this film. Who's going to make this film?
Robert Rodriguez,
Okay.
Machete, and Spy Kids.
And
Oh, actually, he didn't direct Machete. He his friend Emilio.
but
did.
he also did that vampire movie with George Clooney.
Oh, he did From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
written by Quentin
With
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm. In fact, if you whether
could do
you
a
like George
dually.
Clooney or not,
We could do another Dooley and have Quentin Tarantino the two of them.
Oh my God, I would
shit.
love it. K&B
That's
effects would be right there on the spot.
That's it, guys.
This is how you do it.
So these guys are fighting crime and doing all this stuff in the beginning, and then the zombies come. Something like that.
Well, and Robert Rodriguez, he films so fast that you can really bring in. I think he did Once Upon a Time in Mexico with Johnny Depp for 3 days. You can film so fast that you can actually afford to bring in people for a 1 day or for an hour of shooting, and you can pay. For
big
you can actually
actors.
have Daniel Day-Lewis come in to do one thing and then he's out.
Yeah.
And you can, and he works so fast and cheap and in control. That's one of his short films. This is making things realistic, because then you can have like a Anchorman 2 style
Big battle?
fight battle with like, Harrison Ford coming in for 30 seconds.
I know. I want Harvey Keitel in there somewhere because I was thinking about From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah, he's good at it. Harvey Keitel, what's a good living present? Heck, Harvey Keitel could be
Clinton.
I was gonna say he could be the Peacemaker. Oh, that's the name of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, the Peacemaker, played by Harvey Keitel.
Oh shit, guys!
He could be the lead.
He could. His teeth aren't big enough to be Jimmy Carter.
Oh my God! Well, that'll be.
He'd have
He
to wear
finally agrees to wear mouthpieces. He
I
finally agrees to wear makeup.
love this film. I think we should make it, guys.
I think so.
I think so too.
I'll get him on the phone.
I got him on the phone right now. Hey, Quentin Tarantino. How's it going?
This is Quentin. I'm really interested in this film. I've been listening to the podcast live. So.
Wow, how did you manage to do that?
Well, I have this technology, see, and what I was thinking, we could do this other thing where like we get all these. Anyway,
We should have kept going with it, man. I was so ready for us to actually have a conversation with Quentin Tarantino. Bring him to the pod.
I'll get him on the phone.
We'll call the American Diabetes Association and ask to speak with Quentin Tarantino.
Come on.
What, you don't have the number? They didn't have the phone number. Well, guys, that is our podcast for the day. That is Washington, DeCeased. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, you can find us on Facebook. At Something Random Media. You can email us at info@somethingrandommedia.com. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Kelly. You can find Joel at Joel Saphirin on Twitter and Snapchat. You can also Instagram. You know what? I use Instagram more than I use Twitter. And honestly, if you guys ask us any questions, we will answer them on the pod. As always, my name is Charles Kelly.
Oh, and I am Michael Macbeth.
I don't know why that was so funny, but
It's funny because he forgot what we were doing. He's like picking his nose or something.
I thought I forgot his name.
no, but my name is Joel Adam Chavez,
I'm Scotty Schaefer.
and I'm going to 1 week manage to say my name at the end of the show without my voice cracking. It
My
seems
name is Joel.
and
You
guys,
suck, McBain.
our guest host Peter Brady this week.
This is the Something Random podcast. If you like what we're doing, please let your friends know. Grab their phones, subscribe for them. We love what you're doing. We love the responses that we're getting for the podcast. It's always been fantastic to hear. And we love you guys, and have yourselves a wonderful week.